Good day and welcome to another edition of Outsider Genie, where we will be looking at the race meeting today on the Fairview Polytrack. Today is the 7th of May. We have an 8-race card. The first race starting at 12:30. The first race is a maiden plate over 1,000 meters. And let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is number 11, Kiara, 15-10. After the Storm, 9-2, 9-2 English Princess, 9-2 Shahidi, Camellia, 9-1, 14-1 Just So Easy, Sundra, 22-1, Bold As, 28-1, Wonder Woman, and the rest longer. Now, here, race number 1, my first selection is the number 11 horse, which is the favorite, and that is Kiara. Kiara is a filly by open, and these opens, they are really sometimes fast. Yeah, this horse, I think last time out was a little bit behind and run on nicely with 21.9, which is exceptionally fast. So you think he was a bit out of his grand, and I'm hoping that the jockey will have this horse a little bit closer up this time around, and I think this is a number 11 will be hard to beat in this field. But outside of selections, we're going to look at number 2 and 3. Number 2 is Bold Leah from the Jacques Strydom stable. He used to be with Ashley Fortune. Now, this horse, yeah, doesn't show a lot of, except for the last run, always 5 lengths behind, 6 lengths behind, 8 lengths behind. And yeah, I think today maybe they're going to try and jump this horse and go. I think certainly, I think the 1,700 meters and even maybe the 4,200 meters was a little bit too far for him. But certainly a horse that you want to include in the back end of your quartets and trifectas, as well as number 3, Sumda, also from the Paul Peters stables. This horse shows a lot of pace, and this might be, he might get away with this on the poly. So also do include both of these horses, 2 and 3, are way down in the betting, 22-1 and 28-1. So certainly, if they do run into the placings, it will make it pay. Then we have number 1 here after the Storm, Cliffy Miller. This horse is coming from Kenilworth, the Western Cape, and they do have a good record here. So definitely keep an eye out for number 1 after the Storm. Also a horse that you need to include in as well as number 4, English Princess, has been running on the poly and has run a number of places on the poly, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 places. And certainly I would think with Warren Kennedy on board, certainly a big factor in this race as well. We then move on to race number 2, where we have Phyllis Amez 66 handicap over 1,000 meters class D. The betting as follows. Here the betting is number 10, Malerana 3-1, Escape to Vegas 4-1, Paris Opera 9-2, 9-2 Storyland 7-1, Field Dancer Q says Angel Bouquet 10-1, 20-1, and better the race scratch number 11. So here in this race, my first selection is the number 9 horse from Joan Nell's stable, Angel Bouquet. Angel Bouquet has run a lot of most of her races lately on the turf, but now going back over the poly. And yeah, I think that this horse can be effective on the poly, although it shows you 6 runs, no places or something. But I think this horse took a little bit of time to mature and is now fitter, and I think will be ready to run a nice race here on the poly. My outsider selections is number 3 and Field Dancer. Also, who won a maiden, and then last time I didn't run too well behind Natural Jade, but was easy at a crucial time. And I think with Greg Chain, Field Dancer, need to be included in the back end of your quartet and trifecta selections. You guys must keep in mind that if I give an outsider selection, it's not necessary that always think that all of them can win. I'm also looking for horses that can place, you can put into your quartet and trifectas or PAs or whatever, so that if they do come, then obviously you're going to collect the bigger dividend. So that is also what it's all about. My other outsider is number 7, Koi Size. Has won 2 races to go, the maiden, and hasn't been too bad lately. 4 7 lengths and 5 lengths, and I think in this field might be a good quartet and trifecta selection. Number 7, Qsas, and then number 10 is the favorite Valeriana. Yeah, was beaten behind by Victory Tower, and Angel Bouquet has beaten Victory Tower before. So that's why I am saying that I think number 9, Angel Bouquet, can run a huge race here. Then we move on to race number 3, which is a maiden plate over 1,300 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 1, Alcusum, 13 to 10. Number 5, Captain Calico, 4 to 1. 9 to 2, Jaspero. Silver Celebrity, 11 to 2. Pure Quality, 10 to 1. Quastador, 14 to 1. Mambo Ali, 14 to 1. And 40 to 1 and better the rest. So here in race 3, my first selection is the number 1 horse, is the favorite. I think this horse has run 2 very good races here on the poly. Is also extremely well bred. And I think Warren Kennedy today will bring this horse home, certainly the big runner in this race. Then outsider selections that we're going to look at is numbers 3 and 4. Silver Celebrity is coming from KwaZulu-Natal, where his runner plays there a few runs ago. But I just think of Lyle Lewis, and even from draw 10, this horse is going to be a factor here today in PE, definitely include into your play. And then number 4, Quastador, Jared Rock Stable, didn't run too bad behind Iron Henry, taking account that Iron Henry won by 6 lengths. So from draw 1, I think can also be a factor in this race. And then number 5, Captain Calico, Duncan McKenzie, has run 2 seconds. As you can see, second by Iron Henry, 6 lengths, and Mousy on over. And I'm thinking one of the horses that can also go close in this race. Then also you can have a look at the number 6, Pure Quality, same stable, same ownership, has been running places as well on the poly, 11 runs, a few places. So maybe popping to the back end of your quartets and trifectas. Then we move on to the race 4, where the betting is as follows. Race 4, the betting is number 3, Galico, 14 to 10, Princess Zaina, 9 to 2, Time Off, 6 to 1, Showtime Baby, 7 to 1, Bigger Low, 7 to 1, 11 to 1, Jungle Promise, East Coast Star, 13 to 1, Alluring, 28, 20 to 1, and Better the Rest. Here in race 4, my first selection is also the favorite, number 3, and that is Galactico. Has also run some extremely good races, and Greyville, and now finding itself here in PE, and have certainly, I think in this class can be highly competitive, very well bred. Kings Barnes filly by Scholzkes May, and I think this horse might go to the front, Lyle Ewenson from draw 3, and say, guys, catch me if you can. In my outsider section, this race is number 1, which is Time Off. Time Off had his first run on the poly, which wasn't that bad, 3 lengths behind Paris Opera. And if Cliffy Miller would be looking to improve inclusion in all of your bets. And then down here, number 13, a 2-year-old Jungle Promise, Gavin Smith van Rensburg, Marco van Rensburg from draw 1. And certainly I think this horse is 2-year-olds. It can improve, and definitely a horse that you need to include in all of your play, number 13, Jungle Promise. Then we're going to have a look at number 8. And number 8 is Princess Zina, has been placed on the polish last time out behind Madame Seville, certainly also from the Alan Greef Greg Chain stable, but is drawn 12, and that might be a bit of a concern. I remember La Pinta, she's thrown quite a lot of nice foals in her time. It's an older mare, and I do know that mare. So then we move on to race number 5, which is a measured 74 handicap over 1900 meters, and here the betting is as follows. Number 3, Storm Commander, 11 to 10, Full Score, 7 to 10, Meerkat, 11 to 2, Bush Fever, 8 to 1, Capernaum, 9 to 1, Jenskin Sun, 12 to 1, Quintre, 11 to 1, 25 to 1, and Better the Rest. So here in this race, my first selection is number 2, Meerkat. Now, Meerkat has improved lately, and used to be with the Candice Dawson stable, and now in the care of Joan Nell. Meerkat ran a nice race last time out behind Asian Times on the poly and the distance, and I think can definitely be concerned with the finish today. Number 2, Meerkat. And for outsider selections, I'm going for number 6, which is Najeski's son. He also ran in that same race. He ran 3rd behind Asian Times. But now the thing is, this horse is now, I don't know how it's possible, but Najeski's son has got a weight turnaround with Meerkat, and that will bring them closer. So definitely watch out for that one. But I just want to make sure something. You have 12 March. What date did... oh, okay. No, that's why this one ran in April behind Ancient Times, and the Jinsky son ran in March behind. That is why. So that they didn't run in the same race. I apologize for that. And here's the favorite, number 3, Storm Commander. Did win his last race at the Val, and it was a 75. Now it's now finding itself here in a D68. So it is down in class. We'll have to see whether his horse can run on the poly, on the poly. Has never done so. But Storm Commander was also a horse who was battling to win, although he was running against much higher medal rated, and his medal rated has come down from an 83 to 73. So certainly I would think in with a chance, but definitely not past the post bet. And my other outsider selection I failed to mention was number 7, Capernaum. Also horses running there and about, except for race behind the Attorney General. But has got a good record on the poly. 6 runs, a first, a second, 2 thirds, and a 4th. So out of 6 runs, 5 times in the money. So definitely I think 7, Capernaum, a horse that you need to include in all of your play. So then let's move on to race number 6. We have a fillies and mares 68 handicap over 1600 meters, and here the betting is as follows. Number 8, Noble Princess 33 to 10, Waldorf Astoria 9 to 2, Beyond Temptation 6 to 1, Zeta Jones 15 to 2, La Duchesse 9 to 2, Arabiata 10 to 1, Celicia 12 to 1, 14 to 1, Bridesmaid Blues, and 14 to 1, a better the rest. So here in race 6, my first selection is the number 1 horse. I also went for this horse last time out. This horse is very nicely bred, and it went to the front behind Miftu, but spread his shoe and got run out of it. And I'm looking with Lyle Hewitson from draw 1 today. On that day was draw 14. Today it's drawn 1, and I'm expecting that this horse is going to use race, because this horse has beaten Swazi Queen, and Swazi Queen then came out and won a small future here in PE. So that's why I'm sticking with number 1. Then for an outsider selection, I'm going for number 2, also drawn 3. Hasn't been drawn well in his last 3 races. Only the second time on the poly. And I'm thinking this horse has got the ability and can improve in this field. Callan Murray on board. Then my other outsider selection in this race is number 7, which is La Duchesse. Also ran second last time out, and always a horse is there and thereabouts. Hasn't won for 193 days. He's got Stein on board, drawn 2, and I think this is the type of horse that can win any day. Always there and thereabouts. Has run nicely on the poly, course and distance 6 runs, 1 win, a second, a third, and a 4th. So 4 out of 6 over this course and distance was involved in the finish. Here we have number 8, Noble Princess, who also ran some nice races since relocating from KwaZulu-Natal, 2 seconds. So surely also in with a chance. And then another horse that I also I've been following for a long time, and I will include it in my pick 6, is number 6, Beyond Temptation. I'm also expecting this horse to run a forward race, and I have been following it for a long time. Haven't won for 560 days, but surely I think a horse that you do want to include in all of your play, number 6, Beyond Temptation, definitely in with a chance. Then we move on to the future race of the day, the World Sports Betting East Cape Poly Challenge over 1600 meters. And here we have a 2-horse race. The betting as follows: number 2, Marmara C, 13 to 10, 28 to 10 hour, Sailing Lizard 4 to 1, Nimcha 11 to 2, 10 to 1, American Landing, Double R 16 and 53 to 1, Thomas Tucker. Now, in this race, last time out, first of all, Hour will win the consolation prize. It's a consolation prize for the horse who ran in all 3 legs and has gathered the most points. And that is going to be Hour, because Marmara C didn't run in the first leg. But I think Marmara C today is going to be too good, although losing to Hour last time out. But last time out, the horse was lost 1 length at the start, and he got interfered with at the crucial stage in the race. I'm surprised that they don't mention it, and I think, but for that, would have won this race. But him and Hour is very close, and it can go either way. But I think certainly a 2-horse race. Maybe the horse that can upset the upper card is Ncha, coming from Gauteng. Was recently sold when Garen Alexander stopped training, and has been purchased by Hollywood Syndicate. Now, this horse hasn't won over 600, but was placed. And maybe just, for in case he likes the poly or something, maybe it will be a good choice to include in your pick 6. But I think for pick 6 purposes, 1 and 2 will be suffice. American Landing is a horse that doesn't like the poly. He has run 7 times for 2 thirds and a 4th. He certainly doesn't like the poly, and I can't see him today improving, winning this race. But in himself, he is a good horse. But he hasn't also won for 308 days, which is quite astonishing, because he won quite a few races here in PE. But I'm thinking he will have his day soon again, American Landing. I think the other horses will be a little bit outclassed. Sailing Lizard did 1 4 in a row, but against less opposition, but can perhaps maybe be considered for the quartet and trifecta selections. Then we move to race number 8, which is the last race. It's just measured at 68, handicap over 1600 meters. Class D, average measured at 65. And here the betting is as follows. Number 12, all in line, 18 to 10. Falling for you, 9 to 2. Fresh from the US, 11 to 2. False Flowers, 6 to 1. Homer Feature, 12 to 1. Frankie 2 Shoes, 14 to 1. 16 to 1. Turn It Up Heavy. Curious, 8 to 1. 20 to 1. And Better, scratch number 11. Now, here in this race, my first selection is going to be a horse that I have a share on. But I can assure you I have not taken that in account when I did my homework on this horse, when I did my form analysis, because Homer Featured is a Go Deputy. Now, Go Deputies takes time to mature. That is definitely a fact. But the thing with Homer Featured, this horse has got a devastating finish. He can run on quite well from behind. And last time out, even after his maiden, he ran 3rd behind, Falling for You, who is in this race, and who we have now got a weight turnaround on. But maybe we know we're going to battle to make up 3 lengths on the horse. But this horse is improving all the time. He is maturing, and I'm thinking if he is coming to the last 500 meters and he's 2 or 3 lengths behind, they're going to be hard to beat him, because he really runs on well. That race behind Full Score that day, I don't know what happened that day. He came from behind and he was cruising, and then he jumped the patch. I forgot. John said to me that there was a strong headwind, not headwind, a side wind, which blew the horse onto the rails. That was what happened. So, and that was why he lost that race. And then normally when a horse comes out after a maiden, they take a few runs. Now, in that race, he ran also in an AR65, which is the same as today. The distance is the same. And I'm telling you guys, don't leave out Homer Featured. At 12 to 1, take a small each way. This horse is going to run a huge race. I'm telling you that today, even if it's my own horse. But this is an assessment on the horse itself. Now, the main opposition in this race is number 2, False Power. And when I opened the card and I saw False Power, I thought, no, well, this is going to be race over for False Power, because you have the horses that finish in front of Homer Featured, Falling for You, which start to finish that day. And the False Power also was sitting second all the time. But as the last time, False Power was again drawn badly, 12 out of 14. And last time he overcome the draw to come and sit second, but I'm not sure if it's going to be that easy again today. And Falling for You has got draw 2, which can put him in the box seat and in a very good position. So I'm looking forward to this deal between Falling for You, False Power, and a Homer Featured. But there are other horses in this race. Another horse that I like, and this is a horse that's now fresh from the US, but you can also now say fresh from Gauteng. This Traffic Guard horse, Royce Prestat is the breeders or the owners, Karen Marian board, but he's also drawn 10. But this horse has run also in 65, 68. And I'm just concerned that this horse might upset the upper card today. Sharon Kotzen is a very good trainer. And let's see what happens with Fresh from the US. And then number 12 is also a horse, All in Line, has been running places all the time and also a good horse. But she's now twice been beaten by Celia Lyle, and Celia Lyle is also in the Jean Nel stable. Now, there's one thing that I just want to mention, that I don't phone jockeys, trainers, everybody for advice. But I mean, you do talk to your trainer, and he said to me, Homer Featured is not far behind Celia Lyle in ability. Then just another thing is, this is a half brother to a horse that won over the weekend, the Thin Red Line. What was the horse's name? It won a future. Shit. The name escapes me now, but I just saw it now. Thin Red Line. There was a horse over the weekend that won the Thin Red Line. I wonder if it wasn't Linebacker. I think it might have been Linebacker. That so this is then will be a half brother or a full brother, and I'm not sure. Just some user's information. So certainly, I would think in this race quite a number of horses that can be involved in the finish. And here's number 13, Curious. I'm also curious about this horse. He ran on well behind Celia Lyle last time out, but he hasn't competed over the 1600 meters. But looking at the breeding, certainly can be a factor. So do include in your bucket of quartets and trifectas. Might be worth your while if the horse managed to run a place. And then here's a horse called Dancing Girl, also put into the back end of your quartets. He's drawn 14, Warren Kennedy, but it's a type of horse who can run into the places and certainly also enhance the dividend. So that brings me to the end of my preview. I hope I could point you in the right direction for a few winners. And as I always say, break a